blood ties, and broken trust. On the sun-drenched shores of Saint Mirabelle, where the ocean hums an ancient lullaby and the scent of nutmeg and cinnamon lingers in the air, a family stands on the edge of betrayal. A legacy built on love, tradition, and resilience now teeters under the weight of deception. And at the heart of it all, one woman's fading memory and another's ruthless ambition. The bustling spice market of Saint Mirabelle was once ruled by the wise and powerful hands of Mama Elsi, the island's beloved spice queen. Her empire was built on hard work, family, and tradition. Every grain of nutmeg, every dried leaf of basil, a testament to generations of perseverance. But time is a cruel thing. Now the woman who once commanded respect with her mere presence finds herself lost in the fog of dementia. The sharp mind that once outwitted businessmen now struggles to remember the day of the week. And lurking in the shadows of her fading memory is her own flesh and blood, ready to strike. "Grandma, just sign here," Sierra cooed, her voice dripping with honey as she slid the papers across the intricately carved wooden table. "I'll make sure everything runs smoothly for you. You trust me, don't you?" Mama Elsi hesitated. Her fingers, once steady as she ground fresh turmeric, now trembled. "Of course, my sweet hummingbird," she murmured, pressing her signature onto the page. From the corner of the grand estate, her eldest son, Javier, clenched his fists. He had seen this play before, the slow unraveling of an empire, the vultures circling, and the worst part, this vulture bore his own blood. "This isn't right," he muttered under his breath. Celeste, his sister, swallowed hard. "Mummy would never." Marcus, the youngest, cut in, his voice thick with rage. "She doesn't even know what she's signing." But whenever they tried to reason with her, Mama Elsi would only shake her head, repeating the same words. "Sierra is helping me. She only wants what's best." Little did they know, those words were not hers. They were rehearsed, fed to her in whispers under the moonlit veranda, where the ocean breeze carried away the lies. Valerie, Sierra's mother, had made sure of that. Each night, she sat with Mama Elsi, weaving false memories into the folds of her fragile mind. Sierra moved quickly. With power of attorney in hand, she bled the accounts dry. She signed papers in Mama Elsi's name, moved assets, took control. The spice empire, the estates, the businesses. It was all under her command. And when the siblings fought back, she met them with nothing but cold calculation. "Everything I do," Sierra smirked, "is what Grandma wants." The final confrontation came under the golden Caribbean sun, where family meetings turned to battlegrounds. "You tricked her," Marcus growled. "You manipulated her." Sierra crossed her arms. "She signed the papers, Marcus. It's all legal." Javier stepped forward. "Legal and right are not the same thing." For the first time, a flicker of uncertainty crossed Sierra's face. And then there was Mama Elsi, sitting on her grand veranda, the setting sun painting the sky in hues of fire and gold. The voices of her children, her granddaughter, her past swirled around her. And somewhere, deep inside, past the fog of confusion and stolen memories, she knew what had been taken from her. A single tear slipped down her weathered cheek as she whispered the truth, so quiet it was almost lost to the wind. "What have you done, my sweet hummingbird?" The walls of deception began to crumble. Investigations, court battles, the family torn apart. And Sierra, for all her intelligence, for all her cunning, she had forgotten one thing. In Saint Mirabelle, blood ties run deep. But betrayal? Betrayal runs deeper. Will justice prevail? Or has the family already lost more than they could ever regain? One thing is certain. Legacies are not stolen. They are reclaimed. Not everyone is so easy to remove. Aunt Lorraine, Mama Elsi's youngest sister, returns home after a terrible accident, her body battered, her spirit weary. She asks for nothing but a place to heal. But in Sierra's house, there is no room for weakness. First, they force her onto an old couch. Then they strip the cushions away. Every night, she shifts uncomfortably, aching, sleepless. Every morning, Sierra and Valerie watch her with smirks, waiting for her to break. But Lorraine does not leave, and that is when things turn vicious. Javier stands before Lorraine, his fists clenched, his voice shaking with fury. This is our mother's house, our family's home. You don't get to decide who stays and who goes. Sierra laughs, slow and cold. Then without warning, she lunges. A scuffle, shouting, the sound of flesh against flesh as fists fly, as brother and sister become enemies. When the dust settles, Javier lies, bruised, breathless, staring at the family he no longer recognizes. This is not a home anymore. This is a battlefield. And then it happens. Mama Elsi takes her last breath, her legacy hanging by a thread. Before the body is even cold, Sierra makes her move. Get out. With no remorse, no hesitation, she evicts every aunt, every cousin from the estate. Tears are met with locked doors. Protests are answered with silence. Now, the empire is hers alone, or so she thinks. At the funeral, sorrow is not the only thing buried. Grief and fury collide like a hurricane. Javier stands. Lorraine points a shaking finger. Cousins, aunts, everyone has had enough. One moment it's a whispered argument. The next, it's a brawl. Fists fly. Voices crack with years of bitterness, resentment, pain. Sierra stands in the midst of it, unmoved. She has won, or so she thinks. But vengeance is patient. That night, as the island sleeps, a single match flickers to life. One of the aunts who was cast out returns and watches as the flames dance in the night. The fire climbs the walls, devours the roof. By sunrise, it is gone. The estate, the empire, the legacy, nothing but ashes. And Sierra, she stands before the ruins of her own making, because greed always consumes itself. In the end, she won nothing. And Mama Elsi's empire, it did not pass into the hands of the wicked. It did not fall into greed. It simply ceased to exist.